Hello YouTube, here we are. We have ourselves a start to another day. Probably going to be another day full of nonsense, gibberish, and all those things you want to avoid. But it's the way she goes, and yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Well, yesterday I tried to get the ball rolling to take care of an ongoing problem that seems to be snowballing day after day for the last, what's it been, 60 days or something. So of course I get in contact with the people and say, hey, you know, what can we do to get this thing solved? And they're like, well, essentially you just got to do this, this, and this, but there's no negotiating, no nothing, and just pay us and we'll make it go away. It's almost like extortion, if you want to call it that. One thing going through all this, I've sure learned a lot of ins and outs and things that may or may not necessarily have benefited me to have done what I did, about 4 or 5 years ago. But at the same time, it was the only way to solve problems then. Had things stayed the way they were, 4 or 5 years ago without changing everything, then things would be a lot better right now. However, given the way things went and the way things had to be changed to remedy that problem, it created not the potential for this problem, but this problem to get as escalated as it did. I know I'm not telling you guys exactly what it is, but hey, that's the way she goes. So today, of course, I gotta go out again, do another round. If this round fails, I have no idea what to do then, except calling the bloodsucker, directly and saying, hey, if I showed up at your office tomorrow morning with, X number of whatevers and put it on your desk, would you pick it up or not? I know it means another trip to the city, but at the same time, if you can solve this problem, then, it's good to go, right? However, I have no idea. A lot of these people don't want to deal with that amount. They want to deal all electronically or paperless. However, you can't deal electronically or, paper trail without having access to the things you need to have access to. And the catch-22 is they won't release it until they've got, all that on their end. So it's like, again, they're just trying to starve you out, right? And, I'm not, part of me just wants to say screw it and walk away. Let them have, their pound of blood. What are they going to do? Have themselves a yard sale and sell everything I own? Really, you move to another city where the job market's better. You shed some dead weight, start all over, and it is what it is. Sometimes you got to do that to move on, and this might be an opportunity for a new start, a fresh start in somewhere else. Stupid me, of course, wants to hang on to what you got because you've worked hard for what you got, and you've put the last 10 years into this house, and you've been in this town your whole life, and you don't want to uproot, pull up stakes, and go to a whole new city, whole new job market. But right now there is no job market here, and even my former so-called employer there, where I worked for a couple of days before everything went south, was hired somebody else, so I can't even go back to there. That wouldn't be the job to stick with, but hey, it would get you by probably until spring. So, like I said, today I got another round of, things to deal with. Hopefully it works out there. Still haven't shot the videos I needed to get shot, so there has been a couple of days where there's been no activity on the Maxwell's World channel, but that's the way she's going to be. You do what you can to get what you can done, and there's things that are going to get missed. It's just the way it is. And one of these days I'm going to have to do a total overhaul on my house, because the stuff that I did bring home that was Dad's, I have no place to put it, so I'm going to have to sort through and box up and look for what I want to keep and what I don't want to keep, and essentially just get rid of it all, I suppose. Still got the utility trailer here with a bit of a half dump load, so I guess it wouldn't take much more to throw more on it and make it a good load, and around we roll. Here we are, a little bit of an update. Well, the day has gone way better than yesterday. Yesterday I was ready to bang my head on the wall, and I don't think it was even noon yet. Well, today, well, it's right around 3:30 p.m. and well, I haven't banged my head on the wall yet, and it's been a bit of a productive day. So the doctor wanted his well, blood. I guess with Halloween coming up, they need it for decoration or something. So I went and let them withdraw their 10 vials, and well, we'll see what shakes out of that. Then went on to my other appointment and got things squared on away. It's kind of weird how society, or how we've became where we can't do nothing unless we have a bank account at that branch or period, you know. And when you're dealing with certain situations where you don't have access to your accounts, you pretty much got to beg, borrow, or steal to get another account opened up at another bank. Well, managed to get what I needed done, and then get the paperwork done, so got that all sent away. While I was out and about, decided to check the fan mailbox, just a normal handful of spam mail, so that got another handful to add to the big pile. Then decided to go on over to the Princess Auto. I needed to pick me up a marker light for the trailer. Orange light there, but the one on the other side, it was burnt out. At least that's what I'm hoping it is. With these trailers, the bulb or the lens itself is not serviceable. The light is sealed, and there's a bulb or an LED inside, which then a little pigtail plugs into the back of it, which then runs from there all the way to the wiring of the trailer. If it is not the light itself, then it is the pigtail in the back of the light. And if it's not the pigtail, then it's where it connects into the wiring of the trailer, or I have an issue with the wiring. The other lights work on the trailer, just that one there doesn't. So that tells me, or lends me to believe, that it's the fixture or light itself. So pick that up. It was a few dollars. It would have been probably a better idea to wait till it was on sale, but at the same time, can you really afford a ticket, right? Because, well, they tend to use burnt out lights, whether it's a license plate light or a tail light or a brake light or signal light, as a reason to pull you over, hoping to find a glove box full of medicinals or something. So that's pretty much the roundabout of the day. Probably going to take the dog for a walk, go fire up the computer. Maybe later tonight I can get the 6-year on YouTube video shot, or maybe not. You never know, right? Just trying to get things done, things squared away, things caught up, because, well, it's been long enough, and a lot of these things don't get better with time. They get worse with time, and you want to get her all dealt with. So, you guessed her, I'm going to go inside, and we'll probably see y'all later this evening. Well, hello YouTube, here we are. We have ourselves an end to another day. Well, as you can maybe tell, we're getting ourselves some rain, which could easily turn into snow. I definitely feel a weather change coming on in. So, I don't know if it's going to go hotter or colder, but I guess it is what it is. Well, this evening went back over to the apartment there. I'm gonna try to stop referring it as Dad's because, well, it no longer is Dad's apartment. All the big stuff is gone. All the major cleaning is done. There was another couple hours of touch-ups, windows, odds and ends, floors. And I think it's pretty much ready for the landlord's walkthrough. So I have to get in contact with the landlord, and hopefully that all goes well. I'm pretty sure they're going to renovate that suite anyways, but I'm just a little worried about some of the conditions that were existing previously, but it is what it is when you come to apartments and landlords and all that good stuff. It'll be whatever they choose it to be. So of course got that all buttoned up and all cleaned up, just need to get their approval. And then I guess the reality of it sets on in where it's final. Like I said earlier, it would have been nice to have kept it for another year as a memorial to Dad, to go in there and, clean a little bit, or go in there and have coffee, or sit and watch TV, but at the same time, you can't put out that kind of rent or that kind of money for basically an oversized storage locker, and sometimes it's best to rip the band-aid off really, really fast than to deal with the pain, than to rip it off slowly and then put it back on, rip it off slowly, and every time you go in there, you're basically feeling the pain over and over again. Well, tomorrow looks like to be the first day without a lot of nonsense or gibberish. It's been pretty stressful for quite a while now, and I'm hoping it's starting to, lift a bit. As long as the bloodsuckers and stuff get their pound of fat, they should all be happy, so they should get that, by the end of the week. And then they'll have to file what they need to file to do what they need to do, and probably by mid-month or so I will know what's going on. So there could be another month of this nonsense, but I'm hoping I've done what they've wanted me to do. They've basically extorted out of me their fee for doing absolutely nothing, and their the money that I was intending on paying back to the company. They've basically stepped in and made it worse, where you got to pay back more than what you would have had to begin with. So any advice to people that I got out there watching is, if you owe money to somebody, never be honest with them. Never call them and say, hey, this is what's going on. I can make this kind of payment guaranteed, but I can't guarantee anything more. That's the only thing I did different, is I called this company and I was upfront and honest with them. And this was the only company that I called that I was upfront and honest with, and it is the only company to date that I've had any amount of trouble with. So that basically tells me that if I wouldn't have called them, then they wouldn't have been none the wiser, and I would have been where I was 6 months ago, still making payments. So sometimes honesty is the best policy, but in this case, I think honesty actually hurt me, and I should have kept it to myself, and not had them aware of the true situation. But pretty much, guys, gonna end her all here. Today was a good day, kind of one I want to put in the past. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.